Spirituality is a science that discusses awakening of the souls and building a bridge between man and God. On the path of spirituality, we strive hard and we struggle hard to awaken the senses and the souls which are invisible to us. And the result of this struggle is not immediate. It takes time. You do not become a highly spiritual person overnight. It involves a lot of struggle, a lot of dedication, a lot of determination, and a lot of courage, and a lot of patience. This is why it is important that before one begins to embark upon the spiritual path, he or she has all the required tools. You have to be patient, you have to be optimistic, and you have to be composed, you have to be determined, and also the fact that you should not be easily distracted. At the time of adversity, when things get really difficult, most people seem to lose hope. They become frustrated. Therefore, you need a personal composition. Spirituality is not easy. It's a lifetime achievement. It is easy to read a book. It is easy to become a doctor, an engineer, and a scientist. But honestly, it is not easy to purify yourself. It is not easy to dissect your own personality and purge all the elements from your personality which can potentially be destructive and destructive and disruptive. This is why we first talked about self-actualization. And we discussed some 8 points in self-actualization. Self-actualization is actually a sort of preparation for you to embark upon spiritual journey. It's like a prerequisite. It's like a precondition. Not everybody can be divine. Not everybody can be a Sufi. Although every single human being has been invested by God in him and in her the potential to become a Sufi. But then again, it all comes down to different individuals. How do they tackle? How do they cope with the difficulties, with the hurdles that will come along the Sufi path? Patience, determination is the key on this path. You need to have a very transparent understanding of what you are doing at all times. You need to be aware of what you are doing, and also you need to be aware of what difficulties, what problems you may encounter whilst you are traveling on this spiritual path. Today we're going to discuss human intelligence. And as I mentioned, there are 3 different forms of human intelligence. Number 1 is intellectual intelligence. Intellectual intelligence is often related to rationalism. When something is not rational. People call it irrational. But a Sufi goes beyond rationalism. A Sufi has to practice Supra-rationalism. It is a higher form of rationalism. In rationalism, you rationalize with human beings. In Supra-rationalism, you rationalize with God. When you rationalize with God, obviously it is known as Supra-rationalism. And rationalism is just one tiny bit of Supra-rationalism. For example, you're born here in this world, you go to a school, then you go to a college, university, and either you become an engineer or a doctor or a scientist, and then you either find a job or business, then utilizing your education and making money is rationalism, isn't it? If you hold a master's degree in mathematics and you're sitting home, or you're serving at tables in a restaurant, this is irrational. But if you hold a master's degree and then you realize that this life is very temporal, I should do something to make my future life better. So you divide your time. You give more importance to the wellness of the life hereafter. And you give less importance to the life of this world. You cannot call it irrational. Holding a master's degree and sitting home idle is irrational. But holding a master's degree and not utilizing the degree for the sake of investing your time in uplifting and elevating your status in the world hereafter is supra-rationalism.
TV, bringing light, love, and peace in your life.